Season 4, episode 44 of Brackets, Bubbles, and Bid Stealers. I forgot the music!
Dude, that's exactly what I was throwing my arms up about.
I am Sam Fetterman. That is Jonathan Litzkin. How you doing tonight, Jonathan?
I'm doing great, Sam. I'm currently following / watching a game that I didn't expect to have to follow tonight. But
yeah,
here we are, Purdue.
By the way, it is almost time to guess the score between Pepperdine and St. Mary's. That game starts at 11.
I just went on the CBS app to see that Gonzaga is in a battle right now.
Yeah, Gonzaga is in a battle right now. A lot of stuff going on, but we do have to start our day in the NEC.
Do it with me. You see.
No, it's 8 claps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. UCLA.
Dude, I don't know their chants. I'm pretty sure some of their fans don't know their chants.
Anyway. They're only up by 2 right now, but we do have to start our day in the NEC, where FDU got stuck in an elevator and won in overtime. Do you have any thoughts whatsoever?
Do I have any thoughts? No, I don't think I do.
I need you to talk for a second while I pull something up.
Okay. Like, I mean, I texted you. I'm like, just another night in the NEC. But by the way, remind me? It's Merrimack and Sacred Heart, right? That are leaving for the MAC next year.
That is correct.
Chicago State's league, my friend.
Hold on.
You good?
I'm trying to pull something up, but the audio is super soft.
By the way, like, on the topic, you ever gotten stuck in an elevator?
I'm going to be honest with you. I have not, at least not to my memory. I know that seems like something that would be pretty memorable.
I've never gotten stuck in an elevator either, but it seems like it's something that would be pretty traumatizing.
Oh, absolutely.
Imagine, like, it would probably make me claustrophobic, and like I don't know how to I don't really know how you can expect every one of those
here it is. All right. So I was at Lemoyne tonight, and I asked head coach Nate Champion about his thoughts on that situation in the league. They still have to go play at LIU.
Got stuck in the elevator at LIU. Will you guys be taking the stairs when you go down there?
It's funny, say that. I was talking to Bob Beretta, and he was showing me the tweet that showed them. Obviously, weird things happen on the road. That's all I can say. But I'm glad that the kids are okay. Obviously, probably a scary moment for them. But I guess we're going to ask to see if we can take the stairs or how many flights that's going to be.
All right, that was Lemoyne head coach Nate Champion after his Dolphins defeated Central Connecticut in overtime to clinch a playoff spot. Now, only one team misses the playoffs, and it's almost. I was going to
say I didn't know that anybody missed the play.
It's almost definitely going to be Stonehill, who fell to, I think, 1 in a lot today with a loss to Merrimack.
Yeah, they're like 3-24 on the year, so
they're bad. They're real bad. Purdue's up 8 now, by the way.
Yeah, I'm seeing that. It's by the way, it's an absolute crime if Cam Christie doesn't win Freshman of the Year in the Big Ten.
Yeah, absolutely. He's great. Let's open the show with some Bruce Pearl talk. It was not a close game. So Auburn 101, South Carolina 61. Tigers had 22 assists to 7 turnovers. They hit 12 threes. They were 61% from the field. They were 89% from the line. It was a masterclass by the Tigers.
Yeah, I mean, I took more away from Auburn in this game than I did South Carolina. I think people were really quick to jump to like, hey, like metrics win, South Carolina's fraudulent, stuff like that. When in reality, like Auburn is just a complete wagon at Neville Arena and in the jungle. Like this team might not lose to anybody at that place. They shoot the ball better there. It seems like they're just much more composed as a basketball team at home, which a lot of teams are. But that building just seems to have an effect on visitors that not a lot of buildings have.
Trivia time. Top 4 teams at home in the country, according to Bart Torvik.
Auburn.
Yep, number 4. You're watching one of them right now.
Purdue.
Yep, number 2.
That was going to be my next guess. Kansas.
They are actually 9. They played didn't they play like Eastern Illinois or something and win by like 6?
Yes.
That's probably why.
That's like exactly what they did.
There's 2 more. Both of them are in Kansas's conference.
Texas Tech.
No.
Huh.
Texas Tech lost to someone stupid.
Well, I know it's not Texas. They like don't win at home.
Texas Tech lost at home to Cincinnati. So yeah.
Oh, okay.
They also kind of like fucked around with somebody. Yeah, they fucked around with Oral Roberts.
Houston's got to be on here, right?
Yeah, Houston's number 1.
And then Iowa State.
Yeah, that is
Hilton.
correct. Hilton Magic, baby.
Houston, pretty good at home for a team that was criticized by Big Game Boomer last week for their home atmosphere.
Yeah, I think just Auburn at home, like they come out and they punk you. Their last home games.
By the way,
South Carolina by 40, Alabama by 18, Vanderbilt by 27, Ole Miss by 23, LSU by 15, A&M by 11, Penn by 20, Chattanooga by 35, Alabama State by 20, USC by 16, Virginia Tech by 17, Alabama A&M by 30, and Southeast Louisiana by 15. Every game has been double-digit win for Auburn at home this year.
Auburn's got 5 losses on the year, and 4 of them have been by single digits. They have not won a single game this year by single digits. 0-4 in games that are decided by 9 or less. Also, really random because not really random because I just brought him up. You don't follow Big Game Boomer on Twitter, do you?
I do not.
Dude, his college basketball stuff is the funniest thing ever.
It's so bad.
As soon as he says he likes a team, they lose like the next 3.
Didn't he say UNC would beat UConn by 10?
He said Kentucky was the best team in the country. Kentucky lost like the next game right after. He said UNC was going to win the title. UNC's lost like 3 of 5 since then. He said a couple nights ago you started to really believe in South Carolina. First game after they lose by 40. It's actually awesome. The guy's a walking jinx.
And it makes him look stupid, so it's a bonus.
God, it's really funny when people that like are football guys like come in and try to talk college basketball in the late winter and spring like they actually have been watching.
Not even in spring. They do it until the Final Four.
Yeah.
They don't even talk about like the national championship when it happens. They really don't. They don't stay up for that.
Oh, the casuals.
Let's see. Eastern Kentucky beat our glorious independent army. So now the season is over on KenPom for our independent army. They will finish the season at negative. Actually, that's not true because other teams that they played could still affect it. But they are done with Division I opponents. They will beat Indiana Northwest on Monday and improve to 12-18 on the season. Last year, they were 11-20. So it steps in the right direction, assuming they win.
Listen, man, I just want them to finish top 300 in KenPom. Is that too much to ask?
They did it last year. They are 300th right now.
Do they have any? Okay, Carnett's a junior. Corbett's a junior. Crawford's a junior. Like, they obviously like the portal is in play here, but
They brought a lot of guys back this year.
Like Chicago State's getting better. Like they're gonna be a factor in the NEC.
They will be a legit, like, if they bring back Cardit, that's the best player in the conference. Like,
Yeah.
the
They're allowed to like go to the tournament as like the auto bid, right?
Yes. Like, the
Okay.
fact of the matter is, the best player in the conference in the NEC is Jordan Durkak. He's on there. Merrimack's gone.
No preseason Sam Fetterman tweets next year about what would Chicago State's at-large record have to be, or what would their record have to be.
That means no shout out on the Ion College Basketball Podcast, the second best college basketball podcast behind Brackets, Bubbles, and Bid Steelers.
Hey, we agree with them though. There's more of us.
Yes, there's more of us than there are of them. Anyway,
dude, it's like, to be serious for a second, Chicago State won.
If Chicago State brings back Cardit, Corbett, and Crawford, I am like almost definitely picking that team to win the NEC.
Yes,
it would be hard
to love to hear.
It would be hard to imagine there's any team in the NEC with a better top three than that.
To be like entirely serious about them though, like they've won 11 games and only 2 of them have been against non-D1s.
I mean, like, Alan Jean Rose is gone from Central after this year. I think I'm not sure about Jordan Jones. I think he is as well. I mean, Lemoyne's going to lose Cleary and Sutherland. FDU, Almanor can come back. Jameson's gone. Emmanuel can come back. So that's a good top 2. And I think Terrence Brown is pretty solid too. But I'm taking. I mean, Chicago State went to their house and beat them.
You know the league a lot better than you know the league a lot better than I ever would. Does that league have any players this year like they did with Cone and Minor last year that were like big time transfers up?
I'll text you after the show because I can't like say that on air.
Okay.
I will get. There's a solid chance.
I was more so asking, does the league this year have like Cone and Minor caliber players?
Not quite.
Because those 2 guys were way too good for the NEC.
There's. I don't think there's anyone that's like gonna go to a high major and contribute.
Okay.
But I'll text you some names after the show of guys that I like because I could get in trouble for that.
Yeah, understandably.
I mean, I know a bunch of the SIDs in this conference. I could get in trouble for that. I know a bunch of the coaches in this conference too.
Mm-hmm.
That is way too much NEC talk for the first 15 minutes of the first podcast we've done in almost a week.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Welcome to Brackets, Bubbles, and Bid Steelers, folks. The only show on the planet that will talk about the NEC before they will talk about North Carolina losing at Syracuse.
Yeah. Tell me about your court storming experience.
So I wasn't in the student section because I was the Jaden.
Okay.
But I did storm the court. I got the video first.
And then
I was
did
like,
you leave Jaden in the stands?
Yes, I did. I mean, he's a UNC fan. I had to.
I know. It's just the idea of you. It's just the idea of you turning.
Well, no, I mean, I came back.
I know. It's just the idea of you like turning to him and being like, "Yeah, I'm going on the court."
Yeah, it was like I filmed the video. At the end of the video, if you can hear me say, "Should I go?" And I'm like, I stopped filming and I'm like, I'm going. I grabbed the jacket. It turns out the jacket I grabbed wasn't mine, so I had to put it back down and then grab my jacket because I wasn't sure like what was going to happen after that. So I grabbed my jacket. I run down the now everyone's coming up the stairs because I'm not in the student section. So I have to kind of maneuver around some people to get down. And then I just kind of walk onto the court, get to the middle, and they're all jumping around, like.
Yeah, it looked like a party.
It's a fun 2 minutes.
Fanovich.
It's a fun 2 minutes. Now,
I haven't ever stormed a court. This year was my first field storm ever, and it was very fun.
For Kansas State?
Yeah.
Just storm the field after reading Kansas State?
Dude, they won the Big 12 last year, beat us by like 30, and like
It's just a wild thought for me.
We won the game on a 61-yard field goal.
No, I get that. I'm not saying you shouldn't have done that. It's just like, damn, like I don't follow college football like that. So
yeah, no. It was a justified field.
No, I'm not saying it wasn't. It's just like that comes as like I remember that happening, but I'm like, it's still like a really like. And again, I'm all for court and field storming. I think it's awesome. I think everyone should be allowed to do it after every win if the crowd is good enough.
People who say that like field and court storming is bad, like haven't done it. They've never done it. Like or they're just like, or they haven't done it in a very long time.
They're grumpy old men. Court storming etiquette. No, shut up.
Like, okay, if there was a video, I forget what game it was, but like there was a team in college football this year that stormed and like they upset someone after beating Colorado State. And like,
Colorado stormed after beating Colorado State. Is that what you're talking
about? No. But like, it was something about like a student like fan like saying something to a player from the team that lost and like was taunting him, and like the player pushed him, and it's like, okay, yeah, like don't if you're a student, don't freaking do that, because then it becomes justified.
Yeah, they try to get that opposing team off the court real quick.
Yeah, which they should. Also, like,
so, like the
students, a lot easier to do it just because there's so much more space.
So the student section at the Dome is like is like it's a football stadium.
Yeah.
So there's space between the court, the baseline, and the student section.
Right.
So as the game was ending, like 45 seconds left, and it's just a foul fest. All of the students leave their seats, walk down to that space in between. And like, so they're like shoulder to shoulder, like a couple hundred, maybe probably more than a couple hundred. Cause I mean, I'm not sure if every student stormed the court. Like there were definitely more than a couple hundred students on the court. I don't know. Court storming math is complicated. There were probably a couple thousand students, maybe not a couple thousand students in that game, but like it was not a big crowd.
Did you run into any Syracuse fans either in person or on Twitter that had the mindset of like, we're Syracuse, like
yes,
we shouldn't be storming?
So many of them.
Okay. I feel like that's more of like an older generation thing.
It is. There's a lot of them. There's a lot of people. And it's like, shut up. None of these kids have had a big home win to celebrate like that. The last time Syracuse won a big home game like that, 2019.
Syracuse has been a single-digit seed in the NCAA tournament one time in the last decade.
Syracuse is a 5-time ACC tournament quarterfinalist.
This year, baby, it's happening. Syracuse beating UNC in the 1-8 game.
Syracuse is going to find their way into the 8-9 game. Do you have any thoughts about the game itself?
You know what's funny about like the 8-9 game narrative? The reason Syracuse doesn't get to the semifinals of the ACC tournament is because half the time they lose the 8-9 game. Like it's not even like they have a chance.
Anyway, do you have any thoughts about that game?
Yeah, I actually watched a lot of it. I thought UNC's defense the last couple weeks specifically has just done a terrible job, like rotating and getting on the help line. Just all the things they were doing well a couple weeks ago have seemed to have disappeared, which is weird because it seemed like getting to the help line and rotation seems like more of an effort thing than anything else. And like, honestly, I think part of this is just UNC's the hunted now. They weren't a couple weeks ago. People are giving them their best. That's what Syracuse did. Clemson came into Chapel Hill and did that. Also, like Brendan talked about it a little, like RJ Davis just has not been playing as well as he had been like early in the EC.
I mean, he hit some shots. I think he hit some shots in this game, but
yeah, he was good against Miami. I didn't think he was super great against Clemson.
Had a clear plan in this game. The plan was we will not let RJ Davis, Armando Bacot, or Harrison Ingram beat us.
Mm-hmm.
If we're gonna lose,
and like Cormac did hit some shots.
It was if we're gonna lose this game, we're gonna make Cormac Ryan beat us. And he went 4 for 9 from 3. They left him open on basically every possession. He missed a bunch of open threes, but Syracuse just didn't miss. It was the second highest effective field goal percentage UNC has given up in the Ken Pom era.
Wow.
And I think the highest is Tennessee this year.
A game they won quite handily, actually.
So Syracuse, I don't think this game taught me much about UNC, if I'm being honest, because Syracuse didn't miss. I thought UNC's defense was fine.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they clearly had a scout and they knew what they were doing. I think they followed the scout well. They kind of
not something you've said often this year about Syracuse basketball.
No, not Syracuse.
Oh, UNC.
I think UNC followed the scout well. They were in Chris Bell's face a lot. They weren't really they didn't jump a ton on Mintz's drives, but Mintz kind of jumped into them a lot, which helped a lot. They kind of let Copeland and Taylor try and make shots, and obviously Taylor didn't take any shots because he's totally lost all of his confidence. And UNC dominated the glass. Syracuse won this game because
if the way Syracuse plays, that's what was bound to happen. Syracuse
won this game because they didn't miss and they played 40 minutes of incredible energy. It was the best complete 40-minute performance I've seen of Syracuse basketball in a very long time. They wanted it. They wanted it so bad. And man, if they hadn't shot 70%, 63% from the field, they wouldn't have won it. If they shot 56% from the field, they don't win this game, even with how hard they played. It was the hardest they played all year.
I do appreciate the effort that they gave on Tuesday night. I'm hoping to see more of that to finish the season, because at this point, like, you're probably not playing for much. ACC fans on Twitter can say what they want. Like, Syracuse has no chance of making the NCAA tournament unless they somehow steal a bid and reach their first ACC semifinal championship and then win the championship ever.
Hey, Mike Young, 4 ACC tournament wins in 2022. Jim Boeheim, 5 total ACC tournament wins. Naheem Aline has 1 fewer ACC tournament win and the same amount of national championships as Jim Boeheim.
That's incredible. That's just incredible.
Regardless, like, Syracuse just made shots.
Yeah, sometimes it's that easy.
They made shots and they fought their asses off. Chris Bell got an offensive rebound. He has 5 all year.
It was a pretty crucial offensive rebound too.
He has 5 offensive rebounds all year. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Chris Bell went from the Gonzaga game in Maui to the Clemson game on February 10th without an offensive rebound. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 games. He started all of them. 18 starts. He was playing 20 minutes a game with 0 offensive rebounds as a 6'7" wing. Do you understand how hard that is to do?
I mean, that's more of an effort thing than anything else, I feel like.
I mean, it's also the role that he plays, like, just kind of shoot the ball.
Does it bother you that UNC has a guy that plays a lot that, like, just legit does not look at the basket unless he's wide
Syracuse
open?
is a dude that starts and doesn't look at the basket.
Okay, yeah, but Syracuse isn't like a Final Four contender. Like, I love Elliot Cadeau.
Are you talking about Cadeau?
I think he completely changed this team, but he will not look at the basket unless he's, like, wide open.
I mean, yeah, and Syracuse, he kind of tore Syracuse up in the middle of the zone. And again, I don't think this game tells me much about North Carolina, because if Syracuse doesn't make a banked in 3 from 35 feet, another end shot clock 3, and a guy that's made 4 threes all year makes 2 in the first 5 minutes. If that doesn't happen, none of it should have happened, UNC wins this game and nobody's talking about it. It's just, UNC survives a tough one on the road. They got Syracuse's best shot. Syracuse hit all the shots, and Syracuse won by 7. It's not like UNC came out and got blown out. UNC fought and made this game a game. The way Syracuse shot, it shouldn't have been a game.
After all these shenanigans,
Man, Syracuse had some dumb plays in this game. They're a dumb basketball team. They wanted it so bad that not even their own stupidity could stop them.
That's a quote if I've ever heard one.
Do you know how many times they stopped the ball at half court?
After all of this, by the way, UNC...
Actually, it was 0. They didn't stop the ball at half court once. They attempted to stop the ball. They all ended in fouls.
After all of these shenanigans, UNC is still going to win the ACC, by the way.
Yeah.
Because Virginia decided on Tuesday night to be a band of pranksters.
Actually, Pitt just decided to make 15 threes.
Pitt will do that to you.
Pitt made 26 shots, 14 of them were threes. They were
can we
10
agree,
on the glass.
Can we agree that Pitt is the only legit ACC bubble team not named Wake Forest that has a remote shot to make the NCAA tournament, and they still probably won't because they have a 7-point home loss to freaking Missouri?
Dude, they were in a dogfight with Canisius. Canisius is 4-9 in the back.
Dude, Missouri's...
It would be the most Pitt thing ever. Do you know who they play on Saturday?
Do they play Louisville?
Yes. My hint was going to be the coach's son is on the team.
4 seconds. Rebound, UCLA.
So, hold on. We'll get into that. But they play Louisville at home on Saturday. Then they play at Wake.
Okay, I have a question for you.
There's a chance that Pitt's at-large hopes are completely gone by Saturday night. There's a chance that their NIT hopes are completely gone by the time March rolls around because they host Virginia Tech and then go to Clemson.
I have a question for you.
I would they're not going to lose to Louisville, but I would not be surprised if they just somehow went out and lost 4 in a row.
I have a question for you.
Go ahead.
Who has better road wins this season, Kansas or Missouri?
Does Mizzou have a second? Oh, Minnesota.
Minnesota and Pitt.
Yeah, legit, Minnesota and Pitt. Those are better road wins than Indiana and Oklahoma State.
There is a high major team that doesn't have a conference win, and there is another high major team that is going to be a 2 seed in all likelihood, and the team with no conference wins has better road wins on the year.
Credit Dennis Gates' scheduling, and do not credit Dennis Gates' coaching.
It wasn't his doing. One of those games was because of the ACC SEC challenge. He didn't schedule that.
Hey, his team's in the SEC.
Yeah, congrats.
Kansas is probably going to have to play at Gamble next year. Just knowing how this thing's going to work.
I mean, is that not already scheduled?
No. It was Big 12, Big East challenge.
Oh, right.
But I would assume...
I actually believe it's the battle. The biggest Big 12, Big East battle.
I would assume they're going to do that next year. Unless, Houston wins the national championship and they have Houston come to Gamble. Actually, Houston went to Xavier, so they're probably going to have Houston play a home game.
Didn't Iowa State have to go, to DePaul?
Dude, Iowa State... I want that's another venue that I want UConn to play in. Yeah, Iowa State went to DePaul and they dropped 99.
Dude, there are 2 teams in the city of Chicago. Sorry, 3 teams in the city of Chicago who would have been better opponents for Iowa State than DePaul. And none
I
of them
think
play.
I think
none of them
is
play
Chicago
high-major
State
basketball.
is Chicago State higher than DePaul right now?
By like
Oh my God, they
4
are. They're 5 spots higher than DePaul. So, unless you're considering Northwestern like not in the city of Chicago, I know they're not, but like
They're not. Evanston's not Chicago.
include Northwestern, there's now 4.
Yeah.
There's 4 teams within 30 minutes that are a better opponent.
Yeah, there's
Hell, Iowa State would go into Welsh
four,
Ryan.
four other colleges in the Chicagoland area that would have been better opponents for Iowa State to go play.
And 3 of them are in Chicago city limits.
Right? Am I missing any others? I think those are I think those are the 5 D1s in the Chicagoland area.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Is there a
another one.
JUCO? Is there
It's
a
another
JUCO?
win from Nick Cronin's squad, baby.
Yeah, we got to chat about this, baby. We'll
To be
get
honest,
back.
like they still suck.
We have a lot more stuff to kind of get into after that, but man, they host Colorado, and Colorado's at-large hopes are drifting.
Fading quickly.
They're fading fast.
You know who?
They just got Lightning McQueen.
Shoot, that's not what I wanted to do.
Sebastian Mack, 19. Dylan Andrews, 13. Adem Bona, 14. These are the guys they're going to have to lean on, and they've kind of leaned a lot more on them recently, I think, and that's worked out really well.
Trivia time.
Okay.
UCLA on Saturday, I believe Saturday, will try to complete the home sweep of the Mountain teams in the Pac-12. Utah, over the last month of basketball, is ranked what on Torvik?
Oh, like 130?
101. Not nearly that low, but here are some notable teams that they're ranked.
By the way,
below.
UCLA is now 9-5 in the Pac-12.
Wagon. Not
This
really,
is a team that started 1-4. They're 9-5.
So some notable teams
it
that
could
Utah
be
is
bald
below.
cap season. It could be bald cap season. Let me Google it. Where to buy a bald cap in Atlantic City? Ann's Beauty Supply on Atlantic Avenue.
Sam, has Utah played better basketball over the last month than Steve Prob's Murray State Racers?
I was actually thinking about Murray State earlier today.
Why were you thinking about Murray State?
So I saw a tweet. So Connor Wilson at Mid-Major Madness posted an article about how Connecticut has been like the best state for mid-major basketball this year.
I saw that one.
And Justin Perry, Shot Quality, quote tweeted and said, New York's probably a close second. And I'm like, no, Kentucky. Because they're the only team bringing up the rear in Kentucky is Bellarmine. Murray State's 8-7 in the Valley. NKU.
Morehead State's the best team in the OVC.
Yeah, Morehead State's the best team in the OVC. EKU is the best team in the A-Sun. NKU is really good. They just got a road win at Green Bay.
Yeah, they're one of the top.
State is doing solid. And Western just got a road win at Louisiana Tech last week.
Who was the one you said before Western?
Murray State.
Oh, okay.
And Western's doing pretty well. They're 6-4 in Conference USA.
Yeah, Murray State's going to play on that first day of the MVC tourney for sure. But they're
good though.
They're a tough out. They got some guys that could put the ball.
That's kind of what I figured they'd be this year. Just kind of like not great, but like a tough out.
Well, like the Valley's just like tough because like I don't think that like Steve Prom is like one of the top half coaches in the league, but like he has some decent players and they're like very competitive.
Yeah. UCLA. Do you have any kind of thoughts on UCLA?
I mean, I still don't think they're very good. Like we'll joke about them probably for the next month because it's
dude. They're gonna fuck around and win the NIT.
Are they gonna make the NIT?
If they win out.
They aren't gonna win out. They have to make the Washington trip still. They aren't gonna win out. I'm calling it right now. We can clip this. UCLA will beat Arizona. March 7th, first day of the Missouri Valley tournament. We'll be going split screen with I guess it's probably the 6-11 game at night. Well, yeah, we'll be going split screen with UCLA beating Arizona and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Northern Iowa taking care of UIC, a team that's ranked higher than DePaul in KenPom.
Oh my god! By 100 spots, by the way. By 118 spots.
Dude, UIC is terrible. And
they are 118 spots higher than the high major team in their city.
Like I'm gonna be honest, I just looked it up like a couple minutes ago. USC being 187th in KenPom was like a surprise to me.
All right. Anyway, Eastern Washington is about to improve to 11-1 in the Big Sky. Shout out David Riley for how well this team has played after losing Steel Venters to the transfer portal to Gonzaga. They shot 64% tonight from the field. They are really freaking good. They're really fun. I mean, they're 17-8. They have 5 guys that score in double figures and another that scores 9 a game. Trivia time. How many of those guys can you name?
From Eastern Washington?
Yeah.
None, dude.
Jake Kyman. That's one of them.
He's on Eastern Washington.
Yes.
You're not serious right now.
I am
you're
dead serious that Jake Kyman is on Eastern Washington.
Who did dude, I was listening. That reminds me. I was listening to Sweetie's podcast earlier today, and they were talking about the 2018-19 Gardner Webb team with Jose Perez.
Oh my god. Why were they talking about the 2018-19 Gardner Webb team?
Who did I text you the other day was like on some like random team? It was like DeAndre Williams, right?
Oh yeah, the Evansville team that beat Duke.
That beat
Kentucky.
Yeah, that beat Kentucky at Rupp.
It was the same night, though. I think that was the same night that Duke lost.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't the same night, but it was a very short time span between those two.
Yeah, but Jake Kyman is on that team. Regardless, they're really good. They're now 11-1. Washington State is a wagon.
Yeah, they're really good. We talked about them the other day.
They started 1-3. They are up 17 on Cal right now. Yeah. They could be 10-4 after this. Now they still do have to go to Arizona, but their schedule's not that crazy.
Yeah, I mean they could get out of this with only one more regular season schedule. Loss.
They've played the toughest schedule of anybody in that conference so far.
Yeah, this looks very manageable right now for the rest of the way.
I would be at this point, like if they win Saturday, I'm gonna say I'd be very surprised if they don't make the NCAA tournament.
I was gonna say the same thing. And they're gonna end up being a team that like no one sees because I mean they're playing on Pac-12 Network right now, and like I don't know,
look,
like
I'm gonna
go find it on your microwave.
Washington State, I have to go back and find the film on Synergy. That's
I'm sure there's something on YouTube, right?
No, yeah, there is, but Synergy.
Yeah, I mean you have Synergy. I do not. So
every chance I get to mention that I have Synergy, I think I do.
I will be making the trip to the old YT.com to watch Washington State film.
What?
I told you a couple days ago. They're going to be a team that like nobody's watched. So like when everyone picks against them in the first round in like a 7-10 game and they win, everyone's going to be like super surprised when they turn on that game and find out, oh yeah, this team's actually good. Because they are.
They're super well coached and they're going to be in the damn WCC next year.
Kyle Smith's going to leave.
I think there's a good chance both coaches at USC and UCLA are out at the end of the season. We'll have Curry Hicks Sage on to talk search season.
True. It's like, I mean, Washington State's not a high major anymore.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. They weren't really a high major.
And he will. Sage loves Kyle Smith. He talks about him all the time.
Oh, I listened to his space last night. He did mention him. I mean, you turned me on to Kyle Smith.
Yeah.
He's won at
We'll
places
talk.
that nobody wins.
We'll talk more Kyle Smith later. But yeah. UC San Diego is up 51-27 on UC Santa Barbara right now. UC Santa Barbara is in danger of falling to 6-8 in the Big West.
They are awful, man.
It's not gone their way. AJ Mitchell's 3 for 10.
Dude, is Magpie gonna make like a run to like the semis of the Big West tournament?
Dude, Riverside's up on Fullerton right now, so
I know, that's why I asked. They beat Irvine by 10 over the weekend.
who knows? We talked about that,
Dude,
right?
if they win at UC Davis on Saturday, like we're leading the pod with it.
If they win at Davis on Saturday, we're pushing some crazy agendas.
Mike Magpie, Mick Cronin, not first four. Those teams are too good to be in the first four. Mike Magpie, Mick Cronin, Sweet 16, book it.
Anyway,
if Mike Magpie and Mick Cronin met in the Sweet 16, what
the
seeds
only
would those be?
podcast where you get this info.
What seeds would those be if UCLA and UC Riverside played in the Sweet 16?
Well, UCLA would be 12 seed.
I would think 11 or 11, 15, right?
Yeah. No, dude. Dude. Fucking Riverside.
Dude,
Riverside's 10 and 15. They'd be a 16.
Dude, there are some. Oh my God, they're 243rd in Ken Pop.
They'd be a 16, dude.
UC Riverside not getting a 16 would take some like truly awful teams winning their conference tournament. Like,
well, unless Riverside just straight up wins out.
well, yeah, but then they'd be like a above 200 team in Ken Pop.
Okay. Anyway,
This is an absurd
that's far
discussion.
too much.
We've talked for 4 minutes about a 10 and 15 UC Riverside team.
We have spent more time about a 10 and 15 UC Riverside team than we have on every high major combined on this podcast tonight. That is why you tune into Bracket Bubbles and Bit Stealers. We have to get back to that.
Yeah, let's do that.
Tennessee ass blasted Arkansas.
That's one way to put it.
It seems like everyone's doing that these days, except Mizzou.
Well, I mean, that team, Mizzou's a corpse if we're being
Jonas Adu had 23 and 12. Dalton
yeah,
Knecht
back to playing like his normal self after a bad game Saturday at A&M.
Yeah, I mean, just Arkansas sucks. I don't really have anything else to say about this game. Like Tennessee just dominated them in every single way.
Just like I'm so confused, like what Arkansas's direction is from here.
I think the direction is Musselman gets out of there.
I mean, you know, this is the first time he stayed at a job for 5 years.
It's the first adversity that he's faced at Arkansas. What's to say he's not just going to jump? There will be calls. There will be calls for him.
He's a
good coach. He's a damn good basketball coach.
Yeah. The problem is like he's had.
Oh my God! High Point lost to USC Upstate yesterday.
Yeah, you didn't. You just saw that.
I just saw that right now.
It's okay. Alan Huss will be at Indiana State soon enough.
I don't think I can name the USC Upstate coach.
I couldn't. I mean, you can name a lot more coaches than me.
I did the coaches quiz yesterday and I got like 300.
Okay, that's a lot more than me. I got around 200 the last time I did it. By the way, someone challenged me yesterday to the Jet Punk quiz, the college basketball teams quiz.
How many?
He got 200. I got like 351. Like,
what was the worst one that you missed?
I missed Army and Navy somehow.
No way.
Yeah.
I mean, I get all
the other eight I missed were like the usual suspects. Like I always forget freaking Presbyterian.
I don't forget Presbyterian. I will forget I'll forget like Ohio Valley teams.
Oh no, dude, I rock with the Ohio Valley.
I'll forget
that might be that. I mean, that might be
because I always have like Maryland Eastern Shore as the last team that I get in the MEAC.
That also might be because there are like 3 Ohio Valley teams within like 2.5 hours of me.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So
I will miss some. I miss SWAC sometimes. I'll miss Sunbelt.
Yeah, I'll miss one of those in like the Southland.
It's always difficult to get like the bottom of the Sunbelt. Like, because like it's a good enough league, but I just never think about like the bottom of it.
The Sunbelt and CAA are like the same to me. They're just so many teams.
No, they're not the same to me because CAA is a local league.
Yeah, but like neither of those leagues are local for me. So I always forget like one CAA team, maybe a Sunbelt team.
Yeah. Anyway, how does it feel to know that we were right about Colorado?
This team. I mean,
we actually were definitely not right about Colorado because Cody Williams is a beast.
Well, we were wrong about certain parts of Colorado. But, however, Colorado is currently 35th in Ken Palm and on the verge of missing the NCAA tournament, which is a win in my book.
Absolutely. Anyway, we gotta talk because South Florida is 11-1 in the American. We kind of mentioned.
Real quick. Do you think people aren't taking Tennessee seriously enough?
This is a legit top 5 team in the country, like no doubt.
I agree.
They are a national championship contender.
Like I said after they lost to A&M the other day, and like granted they played terrible. The game was never close. My dad texted me and he's like, "Oh, Tennessee's playing terrible tonight." I'm like, if Texas A&M hits 11 threes again in a game this year, like I'll buy you lunch.
I think that Tennessee is a national championship contender.
Yeah, no, like we all agree. Everyone and their mother agrees that UConn and Purdue are the clear-cut 2 above the rest.
Well, Kenneth, our friend Kenneth doesn't.
Dude, Kenneth's Houston bias is. I'm starting to think David Campbell runs Ken Palm.
Anyway,
but you and I can agree. Our bracket comes out 4 weeks from Sunday, I believe.
Yes, it does.
Right,
and we will have a live show that night around 11:30, probably.
Probably 4 weeks from Sunday, our bracket comes out. What 4 weeks from Sunday, you and I will both have UConn and Purdue in our Final Four.
Most likely in the national championship game.
Who we pick to win the other 2 regions just depends on who's in the other 2 regions, frankly.
I mean, teams that I look at right now as legit.
There are a lot of teams I think are Final Four caliber, but like
teams that I look at as like the most legit of Final Four contenders outside of those 2, Houston, Tennessee, Marquette are probably like the top 3. Iowa State has to be in the conversation.
I was going to say Iowa State. I really like Illinois still.
Like, Illinois, yeah, I agree about that.
But like, thing is,
like those are the teams I'd say I'd be most confident in. But then, like, I wouldn't be surprised if we looked up and Baylor just shot 50% for 4 games.
This is why that we always say don't pick a Final Four until you see a bracket, because I really like Illinois.
A single thing until you see a bracket. The only thing I know is who I think are the 2 best teams in the country that I'll probably have in the national championship, simply because I think they're that much better than everyone else. Not because I think they're going to be in the national championship, just because I think they're that much better than everyone else.
I really like Illinois.
You end up having to play against like 4 really incredible coaches in a row. Like, say they have to play like a 4-seeded, like a 5th-seeded Texas Tech in the Sweet 16, then like 2nd-seeded Kansas in the Elite 8, then they have to play
I would have a great time in Detroit if that was the case.
Then they have to play like Houston in the Final Four and UConn in the title game. Like, there's a good chance I picked them to lose one of those games simply because it's hard to outcoach 4 top 10 coaches in the country in a row.
Yeah, it's the reason that we say the things that we do about this is because I really like Illinois. I think Illinois could be a Final Four team. What if our bracket comes out in a month and Illinois is the 4 seed in UConn's region?
Yeah.
Like that's why we don't.
What if they're a 4 seed and the 5 is Texas Tech?
Yeah.
What if they're a 4 seed and the 13 is?
Oh, dude! If Illinois is a 4 seed and their 5 is Texas Tech, their fans might riot, dude. That's like they continuously get the worst luck with draws.
I don't think they're gonna get a tough 13 seed. I think the 13
I don't
line
even know if there is a tough 13 seed.
honestly, we don't really know. I think like McNeese is tough, like as a 12. But like they're 12, and that's typically a team that I think would be a 13 in most years.
One thing Kevin said on his pod today is like if Dayton plays McNeese in the first round, like you can't like convince me that McNeese won't almost be favored in that game.
I wouldn't be able to take my eyes off that game.
No, I know. That would be that's like, main TV type stuff.
McNeese is still doing like the triple switches that LSU was doing. Like they play like LSU did a couple of years ago.
Of course,
they are just athletes, dude. They're just freaks.
Someone's gonna get really smart and hire Will Wade in the cycle. I don't know who it's gonna be. It might be one of those things that's like, okay, this is a job that we don't expect to open, but their coach took another job, and so this team hired Wade. I mean, his teams are just more athletic than everyone else. And
again, dude, McNeese right now, people will think they're an offensive team because their offense ranks higher than their defense. Those people have not watched McNeese.
No, dude, they're a nightmare to prepare for on the defensive end
because they switch everything. They are the number 2 defense in the country in points per possession on Synergy. Now that does include the games that they played against Mississippi University for Women company.
almost had that game out of my mind, Sam.
But like they just went to another team's gym in their league. They were 20-point Ken Bomb favorites, and they covered by 30.
Okay, I'm going to read you a list of 8 teams.
These are 34-7 after 10 minutes.
These are the current 4 and 5 seeds according to Joe Lenardi. Dayton, San Diego State, South Carolina, Baylor, Creighton, Illinois, Wisconsin, BYU. McNeese is more athletic than like 7 of those teams. It is absurd what they have put together this year. Like, I say the mid-major group is weak. McNeese is not weak.
Yeah. That's like the one team that I think is really good out of this.
Yeah, if you were gonna tell me like, hey, there's gonna be a auto bid below like the 11
dude,
line.
Is Xavier gonna like do anything or no?
What do you mean? Are they gonna do anything?
They just suck, right?
Dude, it was only a matter of time before they just like gave up. Their season was over in October.
Like it felt like they were making like some progress. They just came out yesterday and they had no energy.
Okay, if I'm being honest, and I'm being 100% serious here, if UConn wasn't as good as they were and the Big East was kind of just like no elite team, I'd give Coach of the Year in the league to Sean Miller. Like, there's absolutely no reason this team should be 44th in Gen Pom. Absolutely none.
The Big East, the middle of the Big East is like just a bunch of really
awful, dude. Like, I think people are gonna end up mistaking this like fun bubble that they have for like good teams.
Like, but I just look at these teams like Shaheen Holloway, Sean Miller, Thad Matta. I think Kim English is great. Like, I think he's been great this year. Have you watched that team?
Yeah.
They're well coached.
I actually like low key think of like remove Xavier from this. You can include Villanova because like, sure, why not?
Well, okay, they're not well coached.
But no, of like the Butler, Seton Hall, St. John's, Providence, Villanova group, I actually think Butler's like the best of those teams.
Oh, absolutely agree. I think Butler's better than Seton Hall. I think Butler's better than Providence. I think Butler's better than Villanova. I think Butler's the 4th best team in the Big East.
Like, they haven't gotten the hype of like those other teams because like Seton Hall, but we all know Shaheen, St. John's, Patino.
Like that Mata took a team to the national championship game.
Providence has had so much drama this year. Butler has some dudes that can flat out play. I mean,
Thad Matta won 34 games twice. He won 30 games 3 times at Ohio State and 29 another 2.
Has it frustrated you? Has it frustrated you a little bit, like the last couple days, how like these like casual fans are pretending like Ohio State isn't a good basketball job.
Ohio State is an
Like,
excellent
yeah, it's going to
basketball
play
job.
second fiddle to football there, but it is a good job.
I mean, Alabama has Nate Oates. That's a great coach. They're a football school. You don't have to be a basketball school to have a great basketball coach.
I understand why a current Big East coach wouldn't want that job, but it is a good job.
Oh, Sean Miller's been tossed around for that job. By the way, Sean Miller can coach.
Yeah. I'm excited for this coaching carousel offseason. It seems like
Me
it could be
too.
really fun.
The annoying thing about it, though, is that it's not really the offseason when the coaching carousel happens.
No,
like,
the tournament's still going on.
That's what sucks for me.
The tournament's still going on. Like,
yeah, just looking
my
through
team had a coaching change 2 years ago. Not talking about Duke, I'm talking about my school. My school had a coaching change 2 years ago. Like, Konzo Martin was fired while the SEC tournament was still going on. It had not reached completion yet, and he was out.
Yeah. Do we want to talk about Indiana State?
I feel like we have to.
Let's.
Like,
it's a letdown game. They get ranked. They have all the hype. Got a shit team coming in with all due respect. And they got punked.
With all due respect to the Tom Izzo of the Missouri Valley.
Yes, with all due
Ryan
respect.
Pedon.
You're 12-14. You're like, what, 175th in Gen Pom?
What was like, okay, I don't think anything less about Indiana State because of this game, but what was worrisome is like
193rd. Okay, that was really offensive. I did not mean it like that. Just
Illinois State had like
Indiana State should have been able to handle. Let's put it that way.
Okay, my problem was Illinois State had like two like players that like actually like Jordan Davis is like a role player for them, but Darius Burford's their best player and he didn't play. Like that was the most concerning part about it to me.
Look, Indiana State shot 8 for 38 from 3. 8 for 38.
Mm-hmm.
How many games are you going to win when you shoot 21% from 3? And your threes are more than half of your shots?
It's just the concerning thing is here is like
look,
they weren't really like
they're an incredible shooting team. They are an incredible three-point shooting team. Look, but they beat Drake. They beat Drake at 7 for 30.
You can't just write that, but like people aren't just gonna write it off as like a fluke. Like this is a quad 4, and frankly, they lost it by 13, so it destroyed a lot of their good metrics that they had.
Yeah. Look, when this team is hot, they will beat a good Belmont team by 30. They will beat Northern Illinois by Northern Illinois stinks. They will beat when this team is hot, they can crush anybody just with the pace of their offense. But Illinois State is a team that like they probably should be beating by 15 or 20 at home, and they lost by 13. Again, I don't think Indiana State's like a bad team because of this.
I don't think anyone does. No, like I didn't see anyone calling like the fraud card when they lost. Like it was mostly just like bracketologists talking about like how bad it could be to their resume.
Yeah, because I think people have developed enough of a respect for shirts this year. And a lot of that I honestly think is on narrative because I don't know how many people actually watch this team play. I mean, I have. They're fun. They're fun as hell.
People can thank me for this, by the way. Like I've been quiet about this because like he's been like the internet's favorite coach and like a nationally like respected and loved guy this year. But like, dude, I was talking about him last year to you on the show when he was like the 5 seed in the Missouri Valley.
Yeah.
Like, I told you, I'm like, this guy runs like some of the best offense in the country. He's going to be a high major coach like much sooner than people think.
Yeah, I mean,
I didn't expect this, but I also will say that like I picked them to finish second in the Valley at the start of the year, and they were picked.
Yeah, we both have it in the top 100.
Yeah, they were picked 9th by the coaches. And by the way, like didn't expect them to like do what they did with the players they have. Obviously, we expected Avila and Swope to be great, but like Ryan Conwell has been unbelievable for this team. Jason Kent's
Yeah, I
been
mean,
really
I thought
good.
Aaron Gray would be their third best player.
Yeah, I mean, he's barely played. Like, I know he needed a waiver, but like,
But even then, he's played 10 minutes twice.
Jake Wolf's the guy that I thought would start for them after coming in from Moorhead.
Yeah,
He
I mean, Jason Kent has been
He
remarkable.
plays 20% of the minutes.
Jason Kent has been just remarkable. Julian Larry has been remarkable. Just feels like things have gone so well.
Yeah, Larry's
now,
really...
I would say I'm concerned that they don't really have much depth, but like Jake Wolf is good enough to play more minutes than he has.
Mm-hmm.
Same with Aaron Gray, and same with Mason Miller.
Yeah.
It's just that they haven't needed to. Like, they straight up haven't needed to.
They I forget what game it was, but they had a game earlier in the year where they were like, it was a couple weeks ago. They were pretty banged up, and they had to go deeper into their bench and just like absolutely wrecked someone with playing. Like Jaden Daughtry got minutes in that game. They had to just go deep into their bench because they were really banged up.
But Jaden Shirts got minutes against Valpo.
Yeah.
I didn't even know there was a Jaden Shirts.
Also, I haven't really talked about this, but like I think there might be, and this is purely speculation. Like I don't have sources on this. This is purely speculation. There might be like multiple coaches in the Valley that are fired this year.
All right, yeah, we'll move on from that point, because that was a very long Valley update.
Yeah, it was.
Drake beat Evansville on a half-court buzzer beater. Sad news for America.
Dude, Evansville's good. Like, they're gonna be probably like the 9 seed, or maybe they slip to a 10. Maybe they get up to like the 8. Like that 8-9 game, if it's Evansville, Missouri State will be very competitive.
Oh, Long Beach State over UC Davis on the road.
Damn, I like that UC Davis team.
One more thing we haven't talked about this year. Sorry, one more thing we haven't talked about yet. We kind of grazed over it.
One more thing.
Kansas 50, Texas Tech 79. Look, I get they didn't have McCullough, but like, come
dude,
on.
It was just like pathetic.
They showed no heart, no effort. Worst I've ever seen a Bill Self team play.
Yeah, it was not good at all. Like, flat out embarrassing. Like, I had a friend from Kansas text me that, like, he hadn't felt this defeated about a Kansas game since the USC game where they lost to him by 30 in the second round.
Okay, yeah, that's the worst I've seen a Bill Self team play.
Like, it got to the point where I looked at it and I'm like, oh, Furby's playing well.
Okay.
I mean, I love. Okay,
Kansas emptied their bench in that game.
If I had told you,
hold on. Kansas had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 guys come off their bench and play in that game.
I texted two of my friends.
How many can you name?
I texted two of my friends at Kansas real quick, and by the way, I can name a couple. I texted one of my friends at Kansas on Monday afternoon before this game happened, and said, if I don't see some Jankovic minutes tonight with this shortened bench, I'm going to be pissed.
That's one.
Michael Jankovic.
Yep, there's one.
How many guys came off their bench?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Nick Timberlake.
No. In the game against USC.
Oh. Chris Tehan.
Yes.
Let's go.
There were 4 freshmen off the bench.
DeJuan Harris.
Yes. One of them's in the NBA.
Christian Brown?
No. He played 33 minutes and started.
Okai Abaji?
He scored 5 points. No. The dude who was the most overrated star in the country.
Oh, Jalen Wilson.
Yeah, of course. All right, you have 5 more. One of them is
Can you
like the
give me their
best player
starters?
in
That
a
might help me.
conference. What?
Can you give me their starters? That might help me a little bit.
Ochai Agbaji, Christian Brown, Marcus Garrett, David McCormick, and you're not going to believe this, Bryce Thompson.
What?
Yeah. Bryce Thompson, the Oklahoma State guy.
That was a team I picked to go to the Elite Eight, by the way.
Okay, one of the guys on the bench is a junior who is somehow still in college and probably the best player in a not bad mid-major conference. His team is 23-2.
Not Shahada Wells. His team's 23-2. Oh, it's Ty and Grant Foster.
Yes, Ty and Grant Foster. There is one guy who might have played 1,000,000 years at Kansas, and I don't think he ever got a start. No, he got a couple starts his third senior year.
Oh, Mitch Lightfoot.
Yes, Mitch Lightfoot.
Uh-huh.
You have 2 more.
Who else? Okay, Remy Martin wasn't there yet.
I don't think you're going to get either of these guys.
You said McCormick started for them, right?
Yes. I don't think you're going to get either of these guys.
Give me the initials.
Actually, one of them is a Chicago kid.
Oh, Joe Yesufu? No, he was at Drake.
No. This guy's now at Stephen F. Austin. I'll tell you what high school he went to.
Okay.
This is Keller Central.
That's not a real place. That's not in Chicago, I'll tell you that much.
It says he's from Chicago.
Yeah, maybe Keller Central is like a random prep school that collapsed 2 years ago.
Oh no, the school's in Fort Worth.
Yeah. Did he go to high school in Chicago at all?
No.
Fort Worth.
You're not gonna get it. You're not gonna get it. It's
give me his initials.
Latrell Josell.
Dude, who is that?
He's at Stephen F. Austin now.
And then who's the other one?
Gethro Muscadine.
Wait, that name sounds familiar.
Yeah, he was on the New Mexico State team that beat UConn, I think.
Oh.
No, wait. He was on the New Mexico team that next year, not New Mexico State.
Okay. I was gonna say that sounded familiar.
Why is this name familiar? Oh no, he was on the transfer list when we made it 2 years ago. Yeah, for some reason. You probably recognize the name from Kansas.
Yeah, maybe.
All right. That's that for that. Kansas. Look, we got Michael Jankovic minutes, so
yeah.
Shout out Darian Williams though. This dude is a stud for Texas Tech. Grant McCaslin's an elite head coach.
Yeah. I mean, that team's dangerous. They're going to end up working their way to probably a 5 or 4 seed even. Schedule looks very manageable down the stretch here. Just a dangerous team, man.
Yeah. Do we have to talk about that, like the whole Ed Cooley stuff?
The I'm rich as shit stuff?
Yeah.
No.
Was that last week or this week?
No, I think that was this week, but who really cares?
I mean, just the villain arc that Ed Cooley has gone on is so awesome.
Yeah, and like, hey,
like I appreciate it. The man is for the people in terms of.
I'm glad glad he's embracing it.
I'm glad he's now like truly unlikable.
Do you hate him?
No, I respect the shit out of this.
I do too, honestly.
I think he I kind of defended the move to leave Providence because I thought Georgetown's just, you know what, sometimes you just got to go. Oh.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't fault him for it. Like, I get Providence fans were going to be unhappy, but it is what it is. Like, they might hate him forever. It might not work out. It honestly, like, it's a fun storyline to follow.
Yeah. Anyway, with Wisconsin stopped their slide.
Finally.
Do you have any thoughts?
I think my view of Wisconsin over the past 2 months has been clouded by the fact that I was rooting for them to win the Big Ten. I stand by the fact that, like, they are more athletic than they have been in the past. I stand by the fact that this is a good basketball team, but the ceiling is still probably relatively low compared to some other of the top teams in the country. Anything else on them?
Yeah, not really. Kentucky finally won a home game.
Yeah, how about it?
Congrats to John Calipari on winning a home game. That is
Sounds like we might be congratulating John Calipari on some retirement soon too.
Texas A&M is
Oh,
just
dude,
when you
if
think you're,
Kentucky
just
loses
when you
early
think you're in,
tournament,
they pull you back out. Like it's the opposite. Like
who?
oh man, I don't think Texas A&M is a tournament. Like I don't think they are good. Like I know they're gonna make the tournament. I straight up
Dude,
don't think
they
they're a
aren't
tournament
good.
I like. It was the same thing like I said about UNC a few years ago. Like they're gonna make the tournament. They're not good enough to make the tournament. Like I watched them play and I think they're bad at basketball.
What year did you say that about UNC?
The year they made the championship game.
I thought you were talking about the year before, because like the year before, I didn't think they were very good at all.
Oh, I didn't think they were good that year either.
Like I picked them to lose to Wisconsin in a game they lost.
I didn't think that Wisconsin team was good either, though. So
no, but I just thought
Wisconsin was such a computer tricker that year. They were 14th in KenPom
in 2021.
Yes,
I was gonna say they weren't 14th in KenPom in 2022.
They were 37th.
They weren't even 14 spots lower than 14.
Anyway,
computer tricker. Well, Wisconsin being a computer tricker just like doesn't sit right with me.
Why? Because you just
how did they get this high?
What year?
How did Wisconsin get to 14th in KenPom? Like it's not like they were beating good teams.
Did they slap the crap out of somebody?
Not really. Oh, they beat Louisville by 40.
Was Louisville good that Louisville?
They were like a bubble team. They were 59th in KenPom.
Oh, I remember them being a bubble team that year because I had someone that kept asking me, "Is Louisville going to make the tournament?"
Duke actually probably knocked them out.
Washington State's now up by.
I think the reason for that is like Wisconsin really didn't get blown out all that much.
Washington State is up by 20. Miles Rice has 25-5.
Good.
Does he have a case for National Freshman of the Year?
Does he have a case? Probably. Is he going to get any sort of recognition for it? Absolutely not.
I mean, they're going to like absolutely give it to Reed Shepherd, right?
On like low usage, like how could you? Like they're either him or Dillingham.
It's gonna be one of the Kentucky kids that gets it, and they're good, but like that team sucks at defense, and like Reed's a good defender, but like the fact that they play 2 6'3" and 6 foot guards like on the court at the same time so much is part of the reason they're so bad at defense.
Can I be honest for a second? I'd give it to Xavier Booker.
Anyway,
who would you give freshman of the year to?
I just said Miles Rice.
Do you think I'm biased saying that like I would probably give it to Jared McCain?
I'd put Malik Mack before Jared McCain.
Okay, I think that's fair.
I'm just thinking about what other freshmen.
Like I wouldn't go Momcilovic over McCain. I wouldn't go.
Yeah, no, I'd take McCain over Momcilovic.
Wouldn't go Walter over McCain. Wouldn't go Cody Williams over McCain.
I might take Cody Williams.
Wouldn't go Castle over McCain, although he's been
Not yet.
excellent.
Toppin, JT Toppin.
Yeah, that's a good call.
Toppin over McCain, I would say.
I wouldn't go Furphy over McCain.
Yeah, I would probably say, who would you take, McCain or DJ Thomas at UNLV?
Good question. That team stinks. So like, they actually haven't been playing terrible, but like, I'd probably choose McCain still.
Dude,
but you're probably right with the Miles Rice stuff.
Dude, PJ Haggerty's averaging 25 and 3.5. Like, that might be your freshman of the year.
Yeah.
I mean, Miles Rice is averaging 16, 3, and 4 at a high major. Speaking of freshmen, Bud Clark had a huge game tonight. He dropped 29, including the final 6 for Merrimack.
What about Xavier Brown?
Not National Freshman of the Year because, like, straight up doesn't play enough.
Is he going to be A-10 Freshman of the Year?
Actually, he plays 70% of the minutes. I mean, he's also just like maybe the third highest usage and like importance guard on that team. Like, he's amazing, but like they have Reynolds and Lynn Greer who do a lot of stuff for them. I think Xavier Brown.
This team has no business being 107 in Ken Palm.
What, St. Joe's?
Yeah.
In terms of their talent?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Billy Lang sucks.
Get Matt Langle in there right now.
Dude, they have 3 elite guards, another guard who shoots the crap out of the ball.
Wait, what did he tell you earlier this
week? Reese Sandico.
What was his quote at the press conference?
They blew a 9-point lead with 6 minutes left, and he said the game didn't slip away from them. That's the dictionary definition of slipping.
It actually did a full face plant to them.
Okay. Anyway, they lost to Loyola again the other night because, of course, they did. Loyola, by the way.
Loyola, though.
I gotta give a hand. Drew Valentine can coach.
I saw a meme earlier this year about Loyola. Like, it was like someone saying, like, when you realize Izzo's retiring soon, so you have to like start coaching again.
Hey, the Harry Potter scarves. You gotta give some credit there.
Yeah, I mean they have 2 losses in the A10. Richmond at home by 2. USC
is currently beating Utah.
Who is?
USC.
Me and you have been adamant for the last 2 weeks that Utah's missing the tournament.
Utah's not good. Utah is not good.
They give me very like Nevada from last year vibes.
Dude, is Rutgers gonna like fuck around and make the tournament with Williams?
I said the other day they were getting. I said to my friend the other day that they were getting to the semis of the Big Ten tournament.
Yeah, I mean Jeremiah Williams 15, 5 and 5 today.
Granted, Northwestern is down Barry for the rest of the year, but still good win for them.
And it's Northwestern away from Welsh Ryan, which means it's basically
toughest place to play in the country if your name's not Chicago State.
I mean, hey, Northwestern outside of Welsh Ryan is basically Chicago State, so.
And that's no disrespect to our Cougars.
No, it's a compliment. Drexel came back to beat Hofstra. They were down by 10 at halftime.
Jesus, Pacific is so bad.
Xander Rice had a half-court game winner for Monmouth today. The Hawks are 7-6 in the CAA. They won 7 games total last year.
Dude, Pacific is down 26 at Santa Clara, and Benjamin and Ball aren't playing.
Jesus Christ.
That team is awful.
They are terrible. Shouts to Bryant. 17-9. And they hit the over 15.5. So that's $1 for me.
Shoot.
And the key, Little Rock 69, Morehead State 68. Another $1 for me.
What did you have, Little Rock?
Yeah, I had Little Rock, you had Morehead.
What was the line?
It was a random game.
Oh!
I won both random games this year. You won both last year.
That's true. Hold on. Dude, These
Washington today picked up win number 14. They are now 2 wins away from cashing my over.
they're not getting there.
Let me just check some other stuff.
They're not getting there. They got one more win the rest of the year. Actually, I lied. They're playing USC at home. I lied. You're gonna win.
Shouts to App State. They today won their 21st game. So I lost that one.
Yes. Thank God.
Dustin Kearns can coach. I'll tell you this. I don't think UCLA is getting to 28.5.
Okay. Yes, they are. They are. Believe it.
Do you like? Is it even possible?
But by the way, really random question. Do you know who UT Arlington's starting backcourt is?
I know it's something stupid. I don't remember
really
who it
funny.
is. Oh, Philip Russell's one of them.
Philip Russell is on UT Arlington, yes.
Why do I know that? And who else?
Dejuan Gordon.
Oh my, of course.
I randomly thought about Philip Russell today because I'm like, oh, he was good last year. Where's he at now? And I've looked it up, and he's playing for UT Arlington. He's been hurt a lot this year, but averaging 14 a game when he's healthy.
Yeah. Shout out. Who's the coach over there? Like, that's just the whole thing with this program. I look at some other stuff just going on around the country today. Sam Houston is now 7-3 in Conference USA. Western Kentucky 7-4, Louisiana Tech 7-3.
That's such an interesting league. That's such an interesting league.
Yeah, it sucks. It kind of sucks.
Like
Louisiana
Tech has good players, but like
Louisiana Tech is tough. Like the teams are tough, but I don't think the teams are particularly good. But Louisiana Tech could be a really tough matchup for a given high major.
Like everyone in that league has three wins, and they've only played 10 conference games. So
yeah. Tomorrow night, MAC basketball, Ivy League basketball, VCU at SLU. And Big Mountain West game at Viejas, New Mexico against San Diego State.
San Diego State hasn't lost at home yet, right? This year?
I don't believe so.
No, they have not. They have not. They've lost a bunch on the road. San Diego State's losses this year: at BYU, at Grand Canyon, at New Mexico, at Boise State, at Colorado State, at Nevada.
Yeah.
Still have to play at Utah State and at UNLV. Not to mention New Mexico at home tomorrow night and Boise State at home to end the year.
I think we're gonna Ohio and Toledo's another fun one tomorrow. Just some fun basketball.
What's the game of the night in the MAC tomorrow?
The game of the night in the MAC tomorrow in Niagara Fairfield. And also you get Iona Manhattan rivalry renewed.
Oh, calling it right now. Villanova's going to lose to Georgetown tomorrow.
That's tomorrow?
Yeah.
Okay.
Calling it right now. Villanova's losing to Georgetown.
Does Kyle Neptune last another year?
I don't think they're firing him after this year.
Like, I don't think they're firing him after this year. But like,
if things are bad again next year, that could be like okay, they move on in like February type deal, like Holtman just had this week.
Holtman's been there 7 years.
Yeah, but like you have to get like with NIL
so
now.
We have to kind of talk about that because I know we've talked about it plenty. Do we have to talk any more about it?
We talk so much like off our show that like I feel like sometimes we like don't acknowledge stuff like as much as we need to on our show.
Yeah, that's why we need to start making rundowns.
Who would okay? Who do you think? Who would you hire if you were Ross Bjork? Who do you think is going to be hired?
I'd hire Will Wade.
I'd hire Dusty.
I think Will Wade's a little cheaper than Dusty.
Maybe.
I
Ohio State just paid a $14 million buyout. I'm not really super concerned about their financials.
I mean, it's more that like I just think Dusty's going to jack up the price for anyone that's not Indiana.
Hope he does. Indiana should be firing Woodson like this moment to hire him.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be such a game of cat and mouse because May wants Indiana, Indiana wants May, but Indiana doesn't want to fire Woodson yet. Like, is that
do you know how old Mike Woodson is?
62?
He's 65.
He was 62 when he got the job.
This came to my attention today. He's 65. What are you like holding on to him to like turn around? He's only going to coach for like 3 or 4 more years anyway.
Yeah.
Like, you brought this guy in to revitalize the program for the next guy that came in because you knew Woodson wasn't going to be there all that long.
And I think he did a good job of that, honestly, if they let him go after last year.
But like now they've taken a step back and are in a worse spot than they were
because
2 years ago.
Because look, I'm gonna say this. Like TJD was Archie's player. Like
yeah, no, you're right.
If TJD isn't there, Mike Woodson's in like I think Mike Woodson's tenure at Indiana is gonna be looked at as a failure. Imagine if he didn't have TJD. Dog, they wouldn't have made the tournament ever.
A lot of those guys were still Archie's players, right? Like Race Thompson wasn't a Woodson guy. Galloway wasn't a Woodson guy.
Was Galloway not a Woodson guy?
Xavier Johnson, I'd be pounding the table to say he's not my guy.
Yeah. Anthony Leal, not a Woodson guy.
Superstar. Don't forget it.
By the way, the last team that Archie had at Indiana. Listen to this. TJD, Armand Franklin, Christian Lander, Al Durham, Race Thompson, Rob Finney, Jerome Hunter, Jordan Geronimo, Trey Galloway, and Anthony Leal.
That is certainly a collection of players.
It's not a team. It's a collection of players.
Dude, I thought Armand Franklin was good when he was at Indiana. I'm like, they have no idea how to use this guy.
No, they didn't.
And then he went to Virginia and like started scoring. I'm like, yeah, victory for the good guys.
The good guys, the guys who play basketball like it's the 1940s. Devontae Green.
You don't remember him?
That is a name I have not heard in a very long time.
What about Josh Newkirk?
That's another name I have not heard in a very long time.
Who else was on those Archie teams?
Juwan Morgan, Romeo Langford.
Was Thomas Bryant a Archie guy?
Oh my God, Clifton Moore was on this team?
No way.
The LaSalle Providence guy?
That guy?
Yeah, that guy.
That's incredible.
Dude, these are some dudes.
Who else were on these like Indiana teams?
Justin Smith from Arkansas?
Oh yeah, you didn't remember him?
No, not from Indiana.
Dude, Justin Smith was good.
Who else
was on
Zach McRoberts.
Oh my God, dude. Holy cow. Dude.
Oh my God. Freddie McSwain. I just clicked on Curtis Jones because like it's not the same Curtis Jones.
Okay, I was gonna say who is Robert Johnson?
Thomas Bryant was a Crean guy.
Okay. Man.
Oh, and Juwan Morgan was a Crean guy too.
Archie was.
My God.
You know who else was a Crean guy? OG Anunoby.
Yeah.
Yeah,
By the way, completely forgot he went to Indiana until like a month ago.
you know who else was a Crean guy? Will Sheehy.
Oh man, Will Sheehy's a name.
Victor Oladipo, Crean guy.
Will Sheehy is a name that I have not heard in a very long time.
Who were like the Kelvin Sampson guys? This
Calvin
is like
Sampson guys.
This was like a long time ago.
Calvin Sampson.
He
Like,
was gone after
Eric
08.
Gordon.
Eric Gordon, Jordan Crawford.
By the way, do you know what Indiana's record was in their first season under Tom Crean?
No.
6-25.
Dude, imagine if that happened to Indiana like today. I mean, dude, do you see this roster? No kidding. They were 6-25.
Oh my God, who are these people?
They got a freshman starting for them named Tom Pritchard. Who is Tom Pritchard?
He's the backup center on the.
By the way, the next year they went 10-21.
It's progress. They went from 12-20 to 27-9.
You know who was the second highest? You know who was the second highest usage on the 2010 Indiana team?
Who? Christian
Watford.
Freshman Christian Watford.
Dude, Crean didn't have a winning record until his 4th season. If that happened today at Indiana, he'd be fired.
What is this? What is this?
What is what?
Just what the hell? I totally forgot how bad Indiana was for those few years.
Verdell Jones.
By the way, I still can't believe Mike Davis, like the Detroit Mercy coach, took Indiana to a national final. He was coaching a national final 22 years ago. 22 years ago. You know what he's doing? You know what he did yesterday? He won his first game of the season. It's February 15th.
Did you know that Remy Abel played for Indiana?
No.
Do you know who Remy Abel is?
Not off the top of my head.
He played at Xavier. He was like on the good Chris Mack teams.
All right. I think we got to go, but I do have to address one thing.
Yeah.
I didn't realize when I'd mentioned it that Gethro Muscadine had passed. That may be the reason why I recognize his name, and I apologize to anybody who I may have offended. With that, I did not mean any harm. I truly just didn't remember.
Yeah,
I hope his family is doing well, and it's sad. Jonathan, you want to take us home?
Yeah. If you came to hear about Tyler Self's employment, his job, where he's working, well, you came to the right place. If you came to hear about broken elevators and the starting backcourt at UT Arlington, you came to the right place.
By the way, that's going to be a trivia time like 2 years from now. You're going to ask me what the UT Arlington backcourt was in 2023-24.
Dude, I have a story like that I could tell you off the pod once this is done. And then lastly, if you came to hear about what's going on with Caleb Grill's life, who I have doubts about him coming back from Mizzou this year at this point.
I'm pretty sure everyone knew that he wasn't coming back.
But if you came to hear about his life and what's going on with him, well, you came to the right place. This is Brackets, Bubbles, and Mid Steelers. We'll see you tomorrow night. This is season 4, episode 44. Goodbye.